everyone. My name is Natalie Sila Lashman, and my group members are Alyssa McIntosh, Megan Ramuta, Elias Smart, and Roxanne Williams. Today I am welcoming you to our conceptual framework group presentation. Our group chose scenario 4, and we chose Florence Nightingale's environmental theory. Today I'm going to discuss an overview of Florence Nightingale environmental theory with you. Our group chose the environmental theory by Florence Nightingale because we saw elements linked with the patient's surroundings, and she explained nursing as the act of using the environment for the patient to help him in his recovery. It requires the nurse's initiative to prepare the environmental settings appropriate for the progressive development of the patient's health, and which external factors related to the patient's surroundings affect the life of biologic and physiologic processes and his development. She is considered the first theorist in nursing that paved the way in the foundation of the nursing profession we all know today. The 5 environmental factors she identified are fresh air, pure water, efficient drainage, cleanliness or sanitation, and light or direct sunlight. The environment paradigm is naturally the most significant part of Nightingale's concept. Her discoveries show that contaminated environments play a significant role in bad health, and that the environment may be changed to enhance a patient's situation and allow rehabilitation to take place. The environment theory makes 7 assumptions. These assumptions include nursing is a calling, nursing is an art and a science, nursing is accomplished by environmental modification, nursing requires a specific educational foundation, and nursing is different and separates from medicine. As we undertake our research and care plan on the environmental theory, we can indeed give this insightful work of Florence Nightingale.
Hi, I'm Roxanne and I'll be doing Florence Nightingale biography. Florence Nightingale, named after the place she was born. Florence Nightingale was born on May 12, 1820 at the Villa Columbia in Florence, Italy. Her parents were Mr. William Edward Nightingale and Mrs. Frances Smith Nightingale. She grew up in Derbyshire with her mother, her father, and her elder sister, Panatomy. Under her father's influence, she studied classic, Euclid, Aristotle, the Bible, and political matters. Florence always had a strong passion for mathematics. In the year 1840, she begged her parents to let her study mathematics instead, but they did not approve of it and urged her to do something more appropriate for women. Religion played an important part in Nightingale's life, and on February 7, 1837, whilst walking in the garden of Imberley, she believed to have heard her calling from God. Although she was unsure about what that calling was at the time, in the early 1850s she began her training as a nurse in Egypt at the Institute of St. Vincent de Paul, which was a Roman Catholic church. Nightingale then left in 1851 to take on 3 months of nursing training at the Institute for Protestant Deaconesses from Germany she moved to a hospital in Saint-Germain, near Paris. In 1853, Nightingale returned to London and took up the position of superintendent at the establishment for gentlewomen during illness. In March of 1854 started the Crimean War, with Britain, France, and Turkey declaring war on Russia. although Britain, France, and Turkey were victorious, the British medical facilities were criticized. Nightingale was then asked in a letter to become a nursing administrator to oversee the introduction to nursing in the military. While being in Turkey, she collected data and calculated the mortality rate in the hospitals. Nightingale came to the conclusion that the employment of sanitary methods would result in a decrease in the number of deaths, and by 1855 the death rate dropped from 60% to 42.7%. This is how environmental theory came along. In 1858, because of her contributions to the army, she became the first woman to be elected to be a Fellow of the Royal Statistical Society. In 1860, the Nightingale Training School and Home for Nurses, based at St. Thomas Hospital in London, was opened with 10 students. She moved nursing from having a bad reputation to a respectable career. Nightingale stopped nursing in her later life because she became bedridden from an illness she contracted in Crimea. She then began to campaign for the improvement of the healthcare system, and she also published 200 books. In 1874, she became an honorary member of the American Statistical Association and was awarded the Royal Red Cross by Queen Victoria for her work. In 1907, she became the first woman to receive the Order of Merit from Edward VII. On August 13, 1910, Florence Nightingale died at the age of 90. She was never married because she believed that God decided that she was the one whom He had clearly marked out to be a single woman.
Hi, I'm Alyssa McIntosh, and I'll be speaking about the relevance of Florence Nightingale's environmental theory to our case scenario of the 9-year-old boy named Jason who was diagnosed with lead poisoning. Firstly, upon speaking with his parents, we can see that because his home has lead paint on the wall and woodwork that has not been removed, his environment puts him at risk for lead poisoning, which he later on developed. Secondly, other than his physical health, as nurses, we should consider our patient's mental health. Jason has been bullied at school. This is a very tough thing to experience, especially at his tender age. The effects of bullying may cause depression, anxiety, sadness, loneliness, changes in sleep patterns, loss of interest in activities, and academic achievement. His parents noted that his grades started to deteriorate, which is an effect of bullying. Jason's parents have to make the necessary adjustments to ensure that their son does not contract lead poisoning again and that his environment helps improve his academic performance. Suggestions such as removing the lead paint and changing it to a safer alternative and moving Jason to another school or speaking to the school's teacher and principal about the bullying situation. These actions reduce the chances of him developing lead poisoning and improving his overall development.
My name is Elias Smart and I will be presenting on lead poisoning. What is lead? Firstly, lead is an organic toxic metal found in the Earth's crust. Uses of this material has caused remarkable pollution of the environment, human exposure, and is the cause of public health problems worldwide. Sources of environmental contamination include mining, smelting, manufacturing, recycling activities, use of leaded paint, leaded aviation fuel. A brief pathophysiology of lead poisoning. In the human body, lead is absorbed and stored within our bones, blood, and tissues. However, it does not permanently remain there, but is stored there as a source of continual internal exposure. With aging comes the mineralization of bone, so larger internal exposures
will determine the increase of larger releases of lead from bone tissue. Lead greatly affects the hematologic system, causing anemia. This is seen in red blood cells with basophilic stippling and ring sideroblasts on bone marrow evaluation. The most common type of anemia caused by lead poisoning is hypochronic microcytic anemia, attributed to iron deficiency. Inhibition of ferrochelatase by lead causes accumulation of iron-laden mitochondria in the red blood cell precursors.
So this scenario consists of a 9-year-old boy whose name is Jason. He is the son of two Venezuelan immigrants and is admitted to your unit after being diagnosed with lead poisoning. The child had been tough to control at home and very difficult to manage at school, as his parents reported. He was even reported to the school psychologist recently, as his mom admitted. He was the top 3 of his class since he started in that primary school, but his grades has deteriorated since the last 5 months. He is even at risk for repeating the class after last month's exam. His parents also noted that his development seemed to have slowed down for the last 12 months. He was also bullied in school because of his ethnicity and his body. His mother described their family as a happy family, though they do not have a lot of means. They do live their dream in an affordable district house, where the lead paint on the walls and woodwork had not been removed. Results of tests showed a hypochronic microcytic anemia on CBC count and high blood lead level of 22 micrograms per deciliter. Discuss the management of this patient. In conclusion, the environmental theory of nursing is a theory of patient care. It involves altering the patient's environment in order to influence a transition in his or her health. Having compassion for this patient is much more important than the nursing practice, the patient-nurse relationship, or the independent nurse. We applied this theory to our clinical scenario because there were certain elements which linked the scenario to this theory, which was basically changing the patient's surrounding environment, such as fresh air, pure water, sufficient food supplies, efficient drainage, cleanliness of the patient environment, as well as light. However, with our patient Jason, his home environment was the cause of his condition, as the walls of his home were covered in lead paint. So there was a change of environment that was needed. The pathophysiology of his condition briefly explained that lead poisoning can cause anemia, which is attributed to iron deficiency. At the end, the nursing plan of care for this patient involves certain nursing interventions and goals to help him get back to perfect health. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.